Hello and welcome everybody. Remember those times that were simpler? Back in the day, this used to be an AmuLIT stream. This used to be a stream where people came to watch Primeval Titans being cast off of bounce lands and amulets and tapping them. Those were the days. Those were the days. Not as much brewing, not as much changing things, not as much trying stuff. Everything was AmuLIT all the time. Those were different days, but one does not simply abandon the AmuLIT life. No. That's not how it works. The AmuLIT life doesn't just disappear. One doesn't choose the AmuLIT life. The AmuLIT life chooses us. So here we are once again, living that AmuLIT life. And what I got today is the better placing list from this past weekend showcase challenge, which was Mistaken, of course, a friend of the stream. Como você está? Estou muito bom, muito bom. There are many things that I like about this list, so I wanted to go over them and kind of see how things go. There are also a couple of things that I don't like, but I still wanted to, run this list to see what's up, Number one, 4 castles. I do like the presence of 4 castles. Don't get me wrong. I think that castle it's a pretty busted magic card. I am not 100% sure that it is approached in the best possible way right here, but we will go over it. So we got 4 castles, 2 caverns, and 2 forests, 2 snow-covered forests, and 1 Ketria Triumph. Personally, I have been very, very unimpressed by the Triumph, but the idea here is that we're also splashing for Boil in this sideboard. So that's the reason that we have the Triumph, because it helps us transmute. Maybe this should just be a Stomping Ground. I guess we're gonna see it in action, but it's possible that this should just be a Stomping Ground. Stomping Ground also, of course, serves the purpose of activating Hanwar Battlements as well. We got a couple of Valakuts. 2 Valakuts is fine. I have been liking 1 single Valakut in AmuLIT specifically, making room for the 4th Turn Timber Symbiosis. I have really been liking Turn Timber in my AmuLIT deck, so I don't understand the reason for wanting to play 3 instead of just jamming the full 4. Only 1 Azusa because we're playing extra Gracers. This seems okay to me. If you're doing that, quite up with the 2-1 sub. Welcome back for the 10th month. Thank you so much for that. Gracer seems like it makes more sense as a meta call because you want to be better prepared against the aggro decks, basically. But there are so many matchups where just Gracer is not only straight up bad, but Azusa is actually excellent. There are very many matchups where Azusa is the card that you want to draw and you don't want to pact for her. So I have been very, very happy with 2 Azusas lately. I don't understand the reason for wanting to cut on them. I could also see adding another Azusa in place of the 4th Explorer. That also seems like a very reasonable thing for me to do. But we're going with 3 Gracers to Stacy, which is fine. I think that going with more 1-drops is definitely a good idea, particularly because, of course, Gracer enables the turn 1 1-drop, turn 2 3-drop line. But yeah, the Primal Command actually has been something that we've been talking about in my Discord, and I think that it's very good. Personally, I think that it's very good right now. It has relevant modes against every single matchup that you can face, and sometimes it's actually very, very impactful. Being able to remove stuff that we otherwise struggle with, like Heliod, for example, and stuff like that, can be very important. So those are the things that I like. One thing that I don't like is the fact that there's only 1 Field of the Dead in the entire 75. There are so many ways of destroying lands right now. There are so many ways between Cleansing Wildfire, Field of Ruin. Everybody just has some way that they can interact with your lands. So having the 1 of Field of the Dead feels like not enough. I have been really liking having access to the second copy in the sideboard. But instead of that, what we have is actually, speaking of all the land destruction, ramming up Excavator. I have been saying for a while that this is a card that might be due for a comeback. So we see it right now. Excavator has a lot of value against all the decks that are trying to destroy your lands. And it being a 3-drop obviously fits beautifully within the curve. This is similar to the role that Tracker would take, except Tracker would, of course, grow bigger and do more stuff in terms of drawing cards. But Tracker, I just don't think it's really playable anymore. And we straight up see that there's no Tracker in this sideboard, which I agree with. Like I have been playing like one Tracker at most in my lists. I think that you say is just straight up crazy. I think that Tracker is just heinous. So it really pains me to say it, but I'm not excited about playing Tireless Tracker in my sideboard whatsoever. This is probably the first time in history that I've said something like that. It really stinks. Rex Sage, a couple of Beast Withins. No Force of Vigor strikes me as odd a little bit, because I think that Force is actually in a pretty fine spot. Like, it's not backbreaking or anything or game changing, but there are a lot of Blood Moons in the sideboard, and like I'd much rather bring in something like Force of Vigor against Mono Red Prowess than bring in something like Beast Within. Like, I'm gonna be killing Blood Moon 100% of the time anyway, because like killing their 1-2 and giving them a 3-3, it's not that much of a downgrade, right? So I probably won't even bring Beast Withins against the Mono Red Prowess deck, and at that point I have one answer to Blood Moon in my 60. It's a little bit rough, but you know, this is the list that Mistaken was going with, so we're just going to follow along and try it out before we make any changes. Relic is excellent in the current modern format, so no surprises there. I think this card is very, very, very powerful. So it just answers so many decks in the most innocuous form. So very, very good. Dismember, super important against all of the creature combo decks and some of the creature for example, the spirits, like no Sky Collaboration, the Leonin Arbiter, even Mind Sensor, more importantly, opposing Dryads, like all of that sorts of nonsense. Dismember just does a great job at answering. Baloth, excellent against all of the aggro decks. Explosives, just a classic all-around answer to random stuff, and a couple of boils in the sideboard for the blue soup matchups. We're gonna see how this league goes. It's been a while since I've streamed AmuLIT, so I'm pretty excited. This isn't a reclaimer, like, god damn it. Did we get to the point where we're just like always wanting to see the stuff that I'm not streaming? And by the way, Scarecrow, this is the band that we were listening at the beginning. I didn't want to, you know, just like cut the introduction. When 3-0 at Wednesday Night Magic with Nia Lance. That makes me so happy to hear Primetime ETV trigger. That makes me so happy to trigger. Jose would say that this is one too many Dryads. I'm getting to the point that I don't know if Jose just does it to like spite me and House in the podcast. Like that just seems like you are like he's just like doing stuff because it knows that it will tilt us. How's up? How's it going, Doom? How did your PT go, by the way? I don't remember reading about it on Twitter. You dropped at 5-7. Okay. You did make some cash though, right? I do like the idea that the pricing structure for PTs now it's a lot more flat. That seems like a good change in my opinion. With a game with as much variance as Magic, I think that flat pricing structures are so much better. Day 2 all got 1k. That's pretty good. 7 losses just were not. Yeah. My opponent gave me the high have fun, so clearly playing an all-in combo deck. On the play. On the play against the Luros deck. Okay. Cashed all PTs you played. That's a feat. That's a feat. That's not a bad thing to put on the resume. Of course. Fuck me. Of course. Of course. This is, oh my god, I can't believe, this is just an absolute delight. Like the fact that I haven't played AmuLIT in like 2 weeks or something, and the literal first matchup that I get paired against is Mill. If they have a fetch land or a second Crow, I think I'm ready to pack it in. This is just, both Valakits are gone. Okay, yeah, we can't win anymore. That is just absolutely delightful. I guess I don't want the Beast Withins. Actually, Beast Withins sound better than explosives. Yeah, no blessing. Once you queue into build 3 times in a row, yeah. This makes so much sense now that my opponent said, hi, have fun. Like, it just makes so much sense now. I called it. Like, I just knew that it was gonna happen. And they give me a GG in game 1, too. God damn it. God damn it. Just getting owned here. So we're gonna AmuLIT first. And I'm gonna castle. Just gonna dismember this guy right now. Thank you for the follow, Warbreaker. Well, they're failing with my vice too, unless they beat me. Then I salt off in chat. Yeah, that sounds like a reasonable. Sounds like a reasonable thing to do. Would have loved to have drawn that one. Well. C'est la vie. No trap. Ooh. Okay. Oh, did I tap poorly here? Because this, the problem is this kind of wrecked me, because now this center's tapped. This center's untapped. I'm gonna play it anyway, because because we have the Suva for next turn. Yeah, I know. It comes in untapped, so it actually destroyed me, but I couldn't fail to find. Because if I failed to find, they were actually behind on land drop. So hopefully what happens here is my opponent spends their Field of Ruin to blow up my castle again. Cool. So this is now their turn. Second Mesmeric Orb. How many times do I want to tap this? This is a legit question. We just go for the kill, right? I think we're supposed to go for the kill here. UMath 390, I think over the follow. I think I just have to go for. I have to go for it. Well, my opponent stepped out, so they can have surgical and I lose. But I was trying to think about how much mana I was gonna need, because each untap here mills me for 2. So maybe I wanted to stack the trigger before making this much mana, if that makes sense. Opponent seems to be F6 though. So how much mana do I want to make? So this is gonna be 2 mills. Each one of these represents 2 mills. So I don't want to get milled this much. So we're gonna deal 6 damage. I'm thinking about just calling for a Dryad. Calling. Wow, I'm really in Reclaimer mode, huh? Packed in for a Dryad. So if I only want to make 6 mana, we just need to untap these 3 times. So I can just straight up bounce this. We play Dryad. We haste Titan. We get Valakut. That's 12. And then we can use Vesuva to copy. So I only have 3 untaps this way, which seems like the least amount of mill. We only get mill for 6, and we have to hope that both Valakuts are not within those 6 lands. If it's only 1 Valakut, what does that mean? I think if it's only 1 Valakut, yeah, I think that that is the line. So we're gonna make sure that these happen post. So this stacks go here. Then we have the bounce line in between, and then we have the mill happen. The 2. Okay, 1, 2. Only 2 Summoner's Pacts gone. Okay, sweet. So we do that, and we bounce this. Now those untap, transmute for Pact, Pact for Dryad, play Dryad, tap for red, haste Titan, attack with Titan, yes, get Valakut, face. Now these triggers don't matter anymore. Yes. Sure. Mail me everything. Yes. Take 6. Valakut. Face. All right. Dope. go up to 69 for value. That was tight. Yeah. Usually I find that the worse the matchup is, the tighter that I play. Because of, I don't know, I just need to be cleaner because I am at a disadvantage or something. Anti-plant, please. No. So we're gonna get mailed a bunch by this grab. So we lose the surgical. If they mill a Titan, obviously. Valakut gone, but what's his name still there? By what's his name, of course, I mean Ramanep. Shit. We can't really play this guy just yet. Because I'm going to be killing this Ruin Crab. So, play Castle. Say go. And on upkeep, I am going to dismember my opponent's Crab. Or they're tapping out, so I'm gonna do it now. Just draw one. I'm into my opponent just cycling that instead of it being... Oh yeah, I'm definitely into my opponent just opting with a downside instead of ancestraling. Shelldock Isle. Fuck. Okay, there's the orb. Am I getting surgical? Surgical for Valakut. That sucks, but it's less bad than surgical for primetime. The downside of that is that that probably means that they have another surgical. Okay. Okay. Play Gracer. How unfortunate that all the lands that we found just enter, all of them just enter tapped. What am I doing here? I could copy my opponent's Shelldock Isle. Like, I can't copy Valakut anymore, right? So at that point, is copying my opponent's Shelldock Isle just actually good value here? I am legit interested in potentially copying this, I think. I think I'm actually interested in doing this. It potentially can protect a Primeval Titan, actually. Okay. So Dryad doesn't do anything because the Valakuts are gone. So we can protect Ramanap now. We can protect Ramanap from getting milled. Which all but guarantees that we're gonna be able to... It all but guarantees that we're gonna be able to get field going eventually, as long as we have cards in our deck. Let's mill. So this allows me to Titan right here. I think I'm gonna pass on that. The problem if I YOLO jam is that so far my opponent has not had the possibility of getting value from their surgicals, right? They have not yet milled the Primeval Titan, so clearly they don't have a Glimpse the Unthinkable or anything like that. So they also don't have Archives. I guess they could have Archives Trap. I have not shuffled just yet, so they could have Archives Trap. So I'm thinking of potentially passing the turn and using Beast Within. Yeah, I guess that you're right. No, the only issue that I have is if my opponent does have the counter spell, then we get milled for 4, right? But I guess that it's not getting better, so I just have to just yam. It's gonna get round locked, very likely, but what do? We wait till the point where we can bog ourselves, so we have a relic. Like that is the thing. Like we have so many options. Like this can get better for us. So it's not like, oh, that's gone. Like if we do this when we have a relic in play, like my opponent can't surgical me. So it is actually getting better for us. And that's the point that I was trying to make. Don't register Shuffler and get paired versus Mill. It never fails. Yeah, it kind of is. No Lurus reveal, by the way. That's interesting. So that probably means Ashiok, I guess. So I guess they did reveal Lurus the first time. Now that we jammed the first Titan, we have to jam the second one. So now it's easy. Like now we are all in already. But last turn there was the possibility of actually waiting. But now that we went through one, we are definitely yamming. So Field of the Dead, and I guess Primal Command is gone already, so I guess I want to bog myself. I kind of want to get a blue source in play though. Get a Triumph. Actually get a T-West. Yeah. And I guess I protect the field here. There's the Archive Trap, to the surprise of absolutely nobody. What's up, Nub? How's it going? Second grab is hella scary. Wait. What's going on? This is not enabled. You may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost if the library has 20 or fewer cards in it. No library has 20 or fewer cards in it. How can they activate it? Oh, they can activate it, but nothing happens? Oh. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Well, now I'm definitely going to be blowing up the Sheldock Isle because I know that whatever's in there, it's doing something. So, bunch of mills happen. So this is gonna mill 1, 2, 3 cards, 4 cards. I think I have to blow this up. So this is gonna mill 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 7 cards. We have to blow this up for sure. And I guess that we have to search here, unfortunately. Because I need the extra zombos. I guess that this means that it's one less... Like, this doesn't add to my mill count. But it gives me a zombie. Expedition map. Mike, thank you so much for the support. I hate this matchup. Yeah, me too, my friend. Me too. So this is a swing for 6. They go down to 8 because they're not gonna block. So I die to a land. I die to a land. I think it's gotten to the point where I probably have to blow up the Mesmeric Orb. So I should have attacked with this zombie. Yeah, I should have definitely attacked with this zombie. I regret everything. Should have attacked with this zombie. Because I'm going to blow up the Mesmeric Orb now. Yeah, now I don't have lethal because of that attack that I missed. Man, I think I was playing well, and then I fucked up right there. That sucks. Blood Chief's Thirst. Oh, I can't go scutter them. That sucks. Should I bog them? Does that do anything? Not really. We have 1, 2, 1. I guess we get Ghost Quarter anyway, because if they draw a field, we can get around it. Another crab into fetch land. They slow roll the fetch all this time? Really? That's just mean. That's just mean. Alright, whatever. Close. Close. And we ended up losing to that attack with the zombie. My opponent won that game at 2 life. If I had attack with the zombie, my opponent would have been forced to chump block with one of the crabs. And I would have been able to win. Feels bad, man. Feels bad to mess that up. No, it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense because I ended up thinking that the line was to blow up the Mesmeric Orb. So the second that I decide that the line is to blow up the Mesmeric Orb and hope that my opponent doesn't have another one, the moment that I make that decision, I was supposed to attack with the zombie. So I don't think it's a hindsight kind of thing. It was just wrong on my part to not do it. It was just a mistake. So it was 100% a misplay. And I could have made that decision before the attack. In fact, I did make that decision before the attack. I guess I didn't. I made it halfway through the attack after I had already attacked. So it was definitely a mistake. So this could be like blue-red. Or maybe like a version with Bedlam Reveler. My opponent seems like they need help pressing the pass the turn button. Oh, that's a draw. Alright, so now we win on turn 3. Sounds good to me. At least right after getting owned by our literal worst matchup, right after we get owned by it, we get rewarded with a turn 3 not so draw against Prowess. Land, Simeon, Blood Moon. Damn it. Do you think I can use the MTG Belcher font from my website? I don't know what that is, GeForce. But I think website... So the proper sequence is to play the land first, then play Dryad, then play the extra land. I don't know whether some of them are like copyrighted or not. Some fonts actually are free to use, but some other fonts might not be free to use. So that's probably where what you want to be looking at. So this Dryad obviously represents +1 mana because of the double AmuLIT. But because of how I sequenced, I was able to smartly play around this scenario happening. So now my Dryad's gonna be dead. Boo-hoo Dryad. But it doesn't really matter. Well played from my opponent, by the way, to not go for like... Because they could have dealt a lot of damage there. But instead they played around... They played... I guess... I'm getting a Triumph. So... instead they played around... I guess I can double Titan here. What am I even saying? So yeah, this is just game here. So let's do Rod Farm and sure, Radiant Fountain for value. Pact. Prime time. Valakut. Can I quad Titan? The problem with quad Titaning is that it doesn't do anything. So with the next Summoner's Pack, I was gonna get a Dryad, so I can actually set up lethal for this turn. Like I could have played many Titans, but the only reason to do that would be to just show off, because I can only haste 2 of them. So it is basically just a flex. It is a flex and a strictly worse play. When you get free, can you update the Stream Decker? Oh yeah, I updated the Cardboard Live extension, but I didn't update the Stream Decker. My bad. Fixed. Stream Decker's good now. I'm underestimating how much flexing is worth. That's possible. That is certainly possible. So I think they're mono red, so maybe I don't bring in the Dismembers. Dismembers are a lot more exciting against the blue-red versions, I think. We can cut... Just cut Bujuki Bog, and Turn Timber would also be an interesting one to potentially cut. Am I cutting a Titan? There's no way I'm cutting a Titan. Am I though? Like we have Baloths. We have Primal Command too. Am I just cutting this? I think I'm actually cutting this, which seems a little bit counterintuitive. I think on the draw I'm supposed to cut the Primal Command. Like the gain 7 life is just not gonna be enough against the mono red deck. Like they just output damage at such a higher rate than that. So yeah, I'm gonna keep this hand, and then I'm gonna be very sad when my opponent Blood Moons me, but live by this word, die by this word, I guess. No, I guess the line is to this just puts a body into play, right? So we're gonna do this. We're gonna put a castle or bounce land into play. I'm gonna put a castle into play. So now we have a blocker. We can AmuLIT next turn, play a bounce land, bounce this, and we can Titan on turn 3. I'm locking. Yep. Gotta play around, light up the stage. I think if I follow Cast Haven. Gracer OP. Yeah, so they do have light up the stage. I think this was a little bit of poor sequencing on their side, because if they had done it in the other way around, they would have gotten a lot more value from this. So a little bit of poor sequencing on my opponent's part right there. Blood Moon or bust. That's the name of the game. And if they Blood Moon me, at least they wasted like a light of the stage, some triggers, and they also wasted this. No Blood Moon, okay. So I guess that they could have an answer to the AmuLIT. That's another thing that my opponent could have here. Like Shattering Spree or the other thing, the one that deals 3 damage. Gracer Boy did a lot of work here. Gracer Boy did a lot of work. Don't Shatter and Spree me, bro. Okay, that's fine. Sure. That's good. That's good, but maybe, just maybe, not as good as this. Just maybe not as good as this. And the fact that we can play around Blood Moon here is just awesome. Delicate battlements. Haste my bra. Attack. Field. And fetch land? Fetch land represents a basic. And it also represents a 1/1. We're gonna fetch right now, so we don't give my opponent light up the stage possibilities. When Gracer is at his best against mono red, yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think my opponent has Blood Moon here. But we've gotten a decent chunk of value. And if they play Blood Moon, yeah, here's the moon. I guess that they could technically answer this Titan if they wanted. No, they can't. Okay, and they wasted a Swift Spear. Huh. They have Lava Dart, so they can make both of these 2/3s. Not 2/3s, 2/3s, and make the Titan a little bit smaller. but we're still pushing damage through, and if they do that, we get to answer one of these Soul Scar mages, and they also go down and land. They're only down to 2 cards in hand, 3 with their draw step, and then this turn we can just Dryad plus turn Timber, see if we can spike something good. And if the Titan survives, then we are ecstatic, obviously. So it seems like they're good at Lava Dart. Probably the Titan? Lava Dart face. I'm okay with this exchange. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turn Timber U. Poggers. This cast my Titan on turn 3 and gave me an answer to the Blood Moon on turn 4. Same card. Same card. Same card. Exact same card. This card's very good. This one right here. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Round 3. How is Primal Command being? Serviceable. Serviceable is the correct term that I would use. This hand is only good because this card exists. We're gonna see what we're playing against. I'm probably gonna lead on Stacy unless something weird happens. By something weird, I mean my opponent is playing like a discard spell deck, they're playing a counter spell deck or something like that. They mull to 5. Mishra's Bubble. Okay, is this the Arayo deck? All the bubbles. Sure. I guess I am gonna lead on Stacy anyway. This could be mono red. I don't think it's mono red, so I don't think they have Lava Dart. It is probably like red black or something. So play AmuLIT, play this thing, and I guess I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. So Stacy cannot put this into play. So I am just an idiot. I was not thinking. I was thinking, oh, I will activate Stacy and we do the thing. And it's just like, nope. Mistakes were made. Mistakes were made. So I guess it is mono red with bubbles. Seems bad. It just seems straight up bad. Can we call for Dryad 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we can call for Dryad. Cast Titan, haste, kill, game. This. Just making mistakes like an idiot, never getting punished. You love to see it. You love to see it. Not starting the game with an extra card more this has. It is weird, right? Like, I don't know. I understand the appeal of, ooh, you know, free cantrip, but at the same time, I don't know. Oh man. Oh man. This doesn't play around Wildfire, but if my opponent answers my Gracer and they play a shit ton of 1-drops here, they go like double 1-drop here, then we can Explosives and we can clear their board. So that seems worth it. Testing Bubble as an option after the Firebolt ban. Yeah, they're planning for the Firebolt ban. That explains it. Makes a lot of sense. Actual AmuLIT. Yep. Sometimes you're just feeling lit, you know? I think I'm supposed to pass here. Even if I draw a Titan, I can cast it next turn, and this means I don't, if my opponent does go for a multiple 1-drop draw, means that I don't have to play this, like just blow up my own AmuLIT with my Explosives. I'm gonna block chap. So, can I beat Blood Moon? No, I think I'm gonna Dryad. Because my opponent's gonna... I mean, they're not gonna be able to make it through the Dryad. I'm pretty far away from activating Valakut anyway, so... If the Dryad dies, the Dryad dies. I don't care too much. The problem is, what if my opponent next turn goes Blood Moon? And I played my Dryad, and I don't have the mana for Explosives on 3. Because this is a turn that I can play Explosives on 3, play a field, and pass. The thing is that it's probably very likely for me to just die to this guy, right? It's actually pretty likely for me to die to this guy. So I don't think that we can play around Blood Moon, unfortunately. So it's just gonna be Dryad. And now, do I want to play AmuLIT or not? It doesn't really change anything. So I guess that I just... It does enable, I think I'm gonna pass because this does enable Smash to Smithereens, Shattering Spree, like a bunch of cards that my opponent right now has dead in hand. I mean, they could potentially have dead in hand, of course. Yeah, if they had Moon, they would have played it already. That part is probably easy to assume to be true. I unfortunately think I have to block. Okay. It's not something I was planning for. Okay, out of cards. We win next turn. Sweet. Yeah, I was definitely not playing around Boyle. Definitely not playing around Boyle. I love how my opponent is like top decking the best possible cards, even after they boiled me. I'm gonna block because I die, so... Sure. Whatever. Fuck me, I guess. They have Boil. Does that change anything? So they probably have Blood Moon and Boil, which is the perfect combination. The funniest part is that it wasn't even that good. Like, we almost beat them through it. Like, now that I know that they have that bad card in their deck, it's so much more easy for me to play around it. I don't think we can really afford to take the damage, so I'm just gonna go with AmuLIT here on turn 2. What's up, Hadelex? How's it going? Grazer. Sweet. So now we Titan next turn. Got a Manamorphose. How I explain the Triumph? Not really. I just copied the list that Mistaken top 16 with in the showcase. So I'm trying to think if I can play around Blood Moon, and I think I can, but I'm trying to see if I can play around Blood Moon and also make Sombos, because that would be the ideal scenario. So we play Grazer. We have 1 mana floating. We play 2. That's 3 mana. That's 3 mana for 5 mana. We play Vesuva again. That's 3 lands. Get for Titan. That we're gonna have a red mana floating. We can get yeah, I think we're fine here. We can play around Blood Moon and we can haste Titan and trigger field in the same turn. Okay, so Cruel Turf. Float mana. Bounce. Grazer. Play this. Copy. Float mana. Bounce. 6 mana. Primeval. Play. Yes. Basic forest. Hangware battlements. Haste Titan. Combat attack. Field plus fetch. Field of the Dead. Misty Rainforest. Fetch for Snow-Covered Forest. Pass as a turn. Yeah, the lack of synergy with Boyle is not so much of the argument against Triumph, it's the fact that it enters tapped 100% of the time. That is a massive cost, in my opinion. That is a massive, massive cost. Unless you have an AmuLIT, and if you have an AmuLIT, then like whatever, nothing really matters. If you have an AmuLIT, your decisions don't matter anymore. But usually the way that I build my decks is I always try to aim for minimizing the worst case scenarios, and I don't think that a Triumph does that. In fact, it makes the worst case scenarios that much worse. So it is definitely not a land that I'm excited to have in my deck, but I'm willing to give it a shot. I would assume that this is taxes. It could be humans though. GG's, Kensport fan. GG's. Your list seemed very weird. Are you trying some new stuff? Well, would you ever not have AmuLIT in play? That's fair. My bad. It's so much better to have AmuLIT in play, right? Boyle seemed a little bit strange in your list, and the bubble seemed kind of odd. Was trying a bunch of weird stuff in it. Yeah. That's what it felt like, because you were trying a couple of things, and I'm like, that sounds strange. How's that been working out for you? Archon of Emeria. That's low-key very annoying. Because of the texture of our hand. Shit, I don't want to expose this Valakut. I think I'm gonna play Valakut and Vesuva, copy my own Valakut. Like, this is so bad in the face against the Flicker Wisp deck. But unfortunately, I feel like I just have to do it. Because now they can go squatter my Valakut. You can GQ my Valakut and Flicker Wisp bounce my Vesuva, or just have double go squatter. That's also an option. Naturally drawing 2 basics is the absolute worst matchup for drawing your basics, because they are really taxed in this matchup, specifically for GQs, for I don't know if for field, but definitely like a large amount of fields. Yep. Great Sea Boy is gonna block you. Was the first time I cast Boil Fist kind of unreliable, slow at 4 mana though. Yeah, we would have been able to, if I knew that. The problem with Boil is that if you get me, I think that it's in your best interest to immediately side them out for game 3. Because if I knew that you were playing Boil, we would have been able to beat it very easily. Like, I could have played around Boil very easily with my hand. And then we untap and cast a Titan and kill you. So I don't know if you did side them out, but after you got me with them, I think that you probably want to just cut him. Interesting. I'm just gonna do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My opponent could have so many things here. But they just passed the turn. I mean, I can work with this. Harkon is being so awkward right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The good thing is next turn I can cast Turn Teamer. And my opponent Ghost Squatted the turf last turn instead of Ghost Squatting my Valakut, which I feel like was very, very much a mistake. They're gonna do some Wisping. Okay. This I'm okay with. This right here I think I'm okay with. No blocks. I guess they could have Path, so I can't really summon Respect here, unfortunately. Dryad is okay. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get Pathed here, which really sucks. We could also get, yeah, that's probably just as bad. It's getting tough out here. So I think I'm gonna be packed in on this end step because we can kind of safely play around whatever my opponent could have here. That's fine, we take 4. We lose to main deck Mind Sensor, but we probably can't beat main deck Mind Sensor regardless. So we're gonna pay for Pact here. Then play AmuLIT. Next turn, cast Titan. 2 cards in hand. Now they go after the Valakut. Pog. Got me. Got me. Them using their Ghost Quarter there, it's pretty great for me because it means that they are not gonna have Ghost Quarter for field anymore. Is Archon of Emeria broken? I think Archon of Emerius is broken. Four mana. What are you gonna do? Thalia. Yes, very impactful on this board state. Very impactful card on this board state right here. Yep. I'm blocking. So another path costs 2 mana. Good for us. We have an amulet now. 1, 2, 3, 4. They 500% have a path to exile, but I can force it here. We're definitely getting field. I think we're doing field plus battlements. Also, I tapped horribly. Because next turn we're just gonna have more than enough mana to pact on end step. And then cast another Titan. The only downside of this is that we can protect field, but they don't have a Ghost Quarter effect, so I don't think that's that relevant. My opponent should have definitely waited for me to make the decision before doing that. So we're just gonna, I guess, repeat the same play. Gonna make the same thing next turn, except now we have more mana. No Whisperino. I think I'm gonna take my chomp this turn. That's a card that you can play, I guess. I'm taking my chomp this turn because sword doesn't matter. And I don't want my opponent to have access to like a path to exile. And next turn they next turn they just path my dude, right? And then we get oh, they're gonna show me their hand. One, two, three, four. Yes. Okay. Smith for another pact. Haste right there. We just serve with everything here. We're throwing away a token, but it just doesn't matter. We're just getting so many. Valakut and Misty. I guess that we have no fetchable, so Misty doesn't do anything. That's probably not a good idea. Dunes doesn't do anything. It doesn't change the clock, and it's like 5 mana. If my opponent spending their mana to activate this, I'm really happy about that. Yeah, I guess that we can. Sure, I guess Triumph is fetchable. So let's do this. Because my idea is to try to make sure that I can guarantee at least one Valakut trigger next turn. Because I think I'm going to be pacting for... 2 Valakut triggers, sorry. I think I'm going to be pacting for Dryad on my on their end step. Lush. In German, Lush means lucid. Did you know that? No, I did not know that. Now we know. I don't know what triggered that, but I mean, it's wisdom. Actually, that is not necessarily a bad play, because I think that they realized. In fact, that was actually a pretty heads-up play. You know, so what happened is my opponent realized that one of the few ways that they can potentially be able to get ahead is, I mean, we have too many zombies, so I guess it doesn't matter. But the idea was they want their Thalia to die, because that way, if they top deck exactly Sword of Fire and Ice, they can play the sword and they can equip it to the Archon. So, that was actually a pretty heads-up play from my opponent. Because if they block the zombie, the zombie just dies and the Thalia is still alive. So I think it makes sense. Pretty heads up play from OP. Yeah, I think that's actually like a very... I don't remember who I heard saying something like that, but I think that it made a lot of sense. So basically what they were saying, again, I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was like PV or somebody like that. And it was something like, instead of, it's a lot better to, whenever you see your opponent doing a weird play or something that seems bad, instead of disregarding what they're doing and just calling your opponent stupid, there's a lot of higher value into trying to understand why they could have made that play. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes they are just gonna make a bad play. So it is a thing that might happen. So for sure, sometimes they will just make the bad play. But like in that case, for example, it's a lot more valuable to try to make sure that we figure out whether there's an actual reason that my opponent might have to have made the play that they made. What do I think about Firespawn instead of the third dismember? You can do that, but you have to make sure that you can support it, meaning you need more red sources than what I currently have. This list has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 red sources total. So no, you cannot play Firespawn in this list. You want at least like 10 or 11 red sources. How many Titans does Grimoire Reclaimer play? Usually 4. So this hand scoops to the card Flicker Wisp. As in legit, we can't beat it. So I think I'm gonna ship it. Like, it looks okay, right? But in reality, if my opponent has a Flicker Wisp, I cannot win in a million years. So I think it's correct to ship that first hand. This is a lot better, by the way. Missed the time of 4 Gemstone Mines. It made a lot of mana considerations a lot easier. That is for sure. So best draw in the deck is Bounce Land. Gross. Punts 5 OCQ list. Yeah, he actually said that he joined that by mistake, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. He said that he actually joined with the wrong deck list and then ended up going 5-0. Like that's not the list that he would play, basically. This is really scary. So I guess I have to dismember the giver because nothing else really matters. Until I get rid of this thing, there's nothing I can do. So only pound with Joe in a meme list and go 5-0. Yeah, that's definitely a punt thing to do. All right, there we go. So we're gonna name a giant here, and we don't care. I guess I should have named Dryad actually. Because now we can get pathed, and then they can go squatter my green source, and I cannot cast this Dryad, which is kind of brutal. No go squatter though. That's good for us. Any untapped land, please, or bounce land. Bounce land would be sick here. Would it allow me to draw a card? Bounce land, untapped land. Okay, I'll take untapped land. So now if we get pathed, we can just pay for Arbiter. My opponent's too good. Funny how this won the game. Straight up. Straight up. The only reason I didn't win this game is because of giver reference. If I had been able to use my dismember to kill either one of these dudes, I would have won this game pretty handily. Alright, bounce land? Bounce land is the only thing that works here. Good. 1, 2. Pay for this guy. What happens if they have path? Can I beat path? With Vesuva Radium Fountain. No, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can't Vesuva Radium Fountain. I guess because we can't Vesuva Fountain, we probably have to bounce that one. That's so rough though. This is the coward move. I'm gonna go with the coward move. We actually cannot get... if we copy Fountain, we don't get tokens. Yeah, we don't block warriors today. And we have to fetch their main phase because the arbiter locks us out of fetching later. I mean, we can beat this. If that's what my opponent has, we can beat that. Interesting that they brought this card in. This doesn't seem very good against us. Sad face. How many can we attack with? Probably 2. For the Overlord and Zombie Horde, that means that they have 6 mana. Like, if they draw 6 lands, they lose. If they draw 6 lands, and they have 6 lands in play, I don't think that they can ever win that game. Because that means that they didn't draw Ghost Quarters. And I don't think that they can win if they don't draw Ghost Quarters. Flickers. Okay, so now we have 1 turn. Now we have 1 turn to do the thing. So we have to probably top deck exactly prime time here. Separation is gonna get rid of the other Dryad. I guess Vesuva gives me a turn. Excavator doesn't work. Well, we almost got there. That would have won the game. That would have won the game. Anyways, yeah, they had a good draw. They had a good draw. Keep. Stacy, Stacy, Stacy. This is why you cut 1 Stacy so that you only draw your 1-off Stacy. Because you only want to draw 1, you know? Stacy's so good right here. So turn to Arbiter or bust. Turn to Arbiter or bust. I guess they could just pass Stacy. That's another thing that could happen. Turn to Arbiter. Question mark. Castle Ardenvale. All right. They have the Arbiter. They have the Arbiter. Alright, so this delays things a little bit. Kind of annoying. Kind of very annoying, actually. We'll take it easy. We'll take it easy. Taking 2. Not too scared for now. Giver is slightly more scary. They have to go squatter on my turn. I wonder if they're gonna go squatter on upkeep. And if they do, I just let it resolve. Stacy just gives me so much flexibility here. Blow up the castle. So we paid for this? Sweet. Thank you very much. So we're gonna do field, and I guess we can pact for Raminap. So if this field gets ghost squattered, we don't care too much. I was thinking about protecting the field, but we probably want to set up another Titan. Also, my opponent can't, they probably can't win anymore now. They ramped us into Titan 1 turn early? Yeah, they did. Yes, they did. Which only makes things even more hilarious. I will block you. You think I don't dare? I will block you so hard, opponent. Don't test me. Oh, remember when I said that I could pact for this guy? I guess I'd rather play the long game, so I'm not gonna haste this Titan. Would much rather play the long game here. So Vesuva, where are you? Vesuva and Bounce Land, I guess? Civic Growth. Not quite sure why we're still playing. Yeah, Levi, but last turn my Stacy was tapped, right? Because I needed to tap the Stacy to play to put the castle into play. So last year it did matter. That's why I was trying to say like whether I want to protect my field or not. But I think I don't care about the field because I have a Ramen up in my deck, so I can just go get it. Go get it back. Just pack it in, opponent. Let's go play the next match for both of us. That's exactly what I was talking about, Levi. That was the point that I was trying to make. And that was the decision that I was, going over. They didn't give it pro black. Why did they not give it pro black? Doesn't make too much sense. Why are we still playing? Am I missing something? Is my opponent just a masochist? Is that what's going on? I think they might just be a masochist. They pay for the league, they're gonna play the league. That's fair. Three and one. They're hoping for me to forget my pact. I mean, that was, I guess in paper that would have been the line, except it's not really the line anymore. Take this opportunity to see how many zombies you can create. How can I maximize my zombies? I was already looking at, okay, I bounce it to Laura West, I transmute to Laura West, I play Ramming Up, I replay to Laura West from my graveyard. Like, that's where my mind was going at that point. How can I make this as egregious as it can be? How can I make my opponent regret every single second that this keeps going on? That was my mindset. This is an interesting card. I think I'm gonna keep it on the play. Turn 3 Dryad plus land. Turn 4 Primal Command. Aquam Teeth. Probably what? Belcher? We probably cannot beat Belcher, realistically speaking, right? That's just not a thing that we can do. Have you had to beat Infinite Life like that before? What do you mean? They got a monkey. We're gonna get mooned here. We are gonna get mooned. Well. F me, I guess. Cycle Street Wraith. Okay, so I guess it's just a different version of Belcher. No, Iceman, I haven't really done that. So close. So close, yet so far away. So close, yet so far away. Maybe they don't have an untapped source. Ah? No untapped source? One time? No untapped source one time? They don't have an untapped source, or am I getting slow rolled? Who knows anymore? So we 6 mana to Titan. We 6 mana to Titan. I think the line is to just... The line is actually to put to shuffle the Belcher away, right? Because I can cast a Titan and I can get Valakut, that's 12 damage, and I only swing for 2. So I can set up lethal next turn, but not this turn, so I just have to... put non-creature, then target player shuffles. So we put this on top, and they shuffle their deck. Play the stepped, attack for 2. Kill them next turn. If we don't get Moon, that is, of course. Which we do. Feels Belcher, man. Are we dead here? So they have 2 turns to kill me. I am pretty sure we did not have lethal. I'm pretty sure we did not have lethal. I've been wrong before though. And now my opponent's gonna play the 4-drop spell that gives them 7 mana and then Belcher kill me. This makes me so sad. This makes me so sad. This is not realistically a winnable matchup for us. We can steal a game here and there, but realistically speaking, this is just not a matchup that we can win. In a consistent fashion, at least. Okay. We have an empty plan. Probably gonna put everything in front of the Titan. We still have lethal over 2 turns. They're down to 1 card though. The empty is not very common. The Blood Moon is. The Blood Moon is fairly common, but the empty is not. The Lightning Bolt is also not common at all. The lonely primal command working overtime. Excavator is a plan with alongside the Ghost Quarter. Not sure how good of a plan it is, but it is a plan. It also is a plan that gets stopped by Blood Moon. But our entire deck gets stopped by Blood Moon, so that's that's not really an argument, huh? We got some basic, we got some Stacy. I think we keep this hand. This is a hand that enables us to get lucky, which is what we're looking for. So we're looking for a Titan, obviously. Ghost Quarter, also somewhat reasonable, not very good though. Dryad is defensible. We're getting Mooned here. Okay. All right. So now we're looking for Rexage. We're looking for Tolaria West. Braid, that doesn't do anything. That is a no-go though. All right. Let the beatdowns begin. Where's Force of Vigor? I copied the list from Mistaken. He got like 11th in the showcase, and I just copied that list. There's no thinking on my part going on here. I just copied and pasted. Nothing too creative. I mean, that's a Rexage, and Rexage probably has to blow up the Belcher. Stacy has to kill the Rexage has to kill the Belcher, so that means that we have very few outs to my opponent's onboard Blood Moon. But we do have them on a 3-turn clock, and they're down to 1 card. Yeah, Beast Within is here, so we have two Beast Withins and 1 Primal Command. There are our only answers to the onboard Blood Moon. Green, green. Probably the only card that matters at this point is exactly Beast Within, because the Titan doesn't speed up the clock. That certainly doesn't matter at all. Break the Sage. So now it's a 3-turn clock instead of a 2-turn clock. But if we find an answer to the Moon, the Dryad is lethal thanks to this Valakut plus bounce land. So Command is lethal, Beast Within is lethal, and that's really it. Doesn't do anything. 1-turn clock, baby. Let's go. Are we gonna die here? Just gonna make some empty tokens. Empty tokens are actually super awkward here. Yeah, they're gonna buy my opponent infinite time now. God damn it. Because this ride is too valuable, right? I mean, we're casting that one. We can spike a Titan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now we attack with both. Now that we know that we did find a Titan, we attack with both. Because it kills 3 of my opponent's gobos. And then next turn. Has Explorer ever been another card in AmuLIT decks? I always cite it out and feel like I'm making a mistake. I don't understand. It used to be Ancient Steerings, but since they're printed of Castle, Explorer kind of got another meaning. I guess I'm actually not supposed to attack because this is lethal next turn anyway. So they block. Wait, is it? No, it actually isn't. So if I attack now, my opponent throws away 3 zombies. They go down to 3 zombies. If I attack next turn, my opponent can put one goblin in front of the Dryad, 1 goblin in front of the Stacy, and then 4 goblins in front of the Prime Time. So I guess actually it's correct for me to attack here. And there's a Cyber God for subs, yeah. So all you gotta do is join Discord. Okay, so now this Titan is lethal next turn. And they only have 3 mana, so they can't... They could Ritual into Empty again. If they're Ritual into Empty, that would be very disheartening. But that's the only way that I lose here. Or just another Empty, that's fine. Okay, but this means that we just win, right? Because my opponent cannot win with just the 1 card. So we're gonna get him. Wow, beating Belcher 2-0. Feels good, man. Get my basic. Get like a bounce line. Whatever, it just doesn't matter. But now there's no 1 card that can prevent my opponent from dying next turn. Go down to 1. Stokey112 with a 2-1 sub. Welcome to the Primetime Stronghold, Stokey. Thank you for the support. Alright, 4-1. 4-1 with this list. Good first showing. Our loss was to Mill, so we could never beat that deck ever in a million years, so no surprises there. We still were pretty close to beat a Mill, actually. Yeah, beating Belcher is good stuff. Thanks for the... Oh, you're very welcome, Stokey. It shall be kept coming. Fear not. Fear not that it shall be kept keeping coming. The Beast Withins are kind of awkward. I feel like I would like room for a Force. Everything else felt kind of fine. Turn Timber was the all-star that it always is. Makes me want to try to fit another copy. Only 1 field is interesting. Kind of wish we had another copy of field in the sideboard. But we didn't really get paired against any of the deck that fields is really, really good against, so... Be super impressed by turn this deck. Yeah, it's very, very good. It's very, very good. I've been playing at least 3 copies in all of my lists, except when I'm playing Karn. When I'm playing Karn, I think I've been playing 2. But the whole point of making the mono green list that I was playing before trying this out was, which is this one, the whole point of making this list happen was precisely because I wanted to make room for the full 4 turn timbers. This is what I had been playing previously. Mistaken, grab this and add another Explore. And then cut the Azusa for another Grazer. That's the part that I'm not super into. Cutting Azusa for another Grazer. Even though Grazer was actually fine in that league. Gracias. Even though Grazer was actually pretty good in that league. Forecastle felt nice though. Forecastle felt nice. Remember when Titan used to play 28 lands? Well, yeah, we used to play 28 lands, but you also played Summer Bloom and you played 10 or 11 bounce lands, right? It was a lot better to, you know, I would take that configuration any day of the week. Also, more lands make a lot more sense when we're playing Castle, etc. Like, comparing AmuLIT deck building from 4 years ago versus today is just, it's not really, it doesn't really make too much sense, you know. How many people do you think are gonna play Punch list with 4 vestiges because you get for jokers with it? I don't know. Maybe some people will. Alright, I think I'm gonna play another league with this list. But that's gonna be it for this one though. Thank you so much for checking it out. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.